Right, good evening, and it's good to have you around. I'm going to be talking about the applicant tracking system. It's actually a software that is used to sieve out a great percent of those who have applied for jobs. And imagine that you are the HR person in a particular company, and you have tons and tons of applications pouring in into your email box. And let's also assume that you are the only person who is going to be doing the sieving, assuming it's going to be manually. Okay, so what this software does is that it helps you to sieve out those whom who fit in to your job description most of the time, and most importantly it saves you time. So if you have 1,000 applications all over the world, you would want to consider using this software. I think I've used it once or twice before, and I know exactly how it works. And let me just show you the interface of just one of them on the this is the interface. This is how it looks like, and I think this was a video some time ago on so you can see the dashboard there. You can see employees, you can see recruitment, jobs, applicants, the calendar configuration, library reports, company, and so on. So you can this type of software, there are there are variances of this, but for individuals, for companies, well, once you create that aura of this is what I want, you put in what you want or what your company wants onto the software, and everyone who applies, you, you when you put in what you want into the software, you now share the job description from the software to whether it's LinkedIn or your website, or so anyone who is applying, the the cover letter or the CV is being collected by the software. Is being collected by the software. Okay. And oh, I just discovered I didn't share the screen. Let me just share the screen so that you can see what I'm talking about. Uh, I think I should share the entire screen right there. All right, so this is what I was talking about. This is the interface. This is how it looks like. All right, this is how it looks like, and this software is crazy. Like 75% of those who apply for jobs are actually kicked out, roughly, according to statistics of those who use this. All right, 75% of those who use the software uh, or of our applicants who pass through this software are kicked out. And that's because there are a lot of things people do not take into cognizance when they are actually applying for these jobs. And those are the few things I'm going to mention to you at this instant. And I'm going to be using a sample of I'm going to be using a sample of some of the CVs that have been submitted to the email that was provided in the group. I'm going to be doing that, and I hope I'll be for some of you will not expect me to project your CV, but I'm going to try my best to be discreet about it. But I'm going to let me blur let me blur the contact details of and get back to you. Okay. able to do that for one. I'm going to do that for another. And then I'm going to do that for the last person. All right, just to cover the, just to make sure that we are all safe. Now, one thing you have to know about the applicant tracking system is the fact that the software uses what is called optical recognition, optical character recognition. So it's whether it's your PDF document or your Microsoft document or your PowerPoint document or whatever it is you're using to send your applications, the software would track certain characters, like, you know, characters. I'm talking about alphabets, and they would want to see what's the structure like, what are they looking for, what's the company looking for. Okay, so that's why it is important for you to follow some of these tips I'm going to be sharing with you. One of them is that you need to one of them is that you need to keep the fonts simple. You need to keep the fonts simple. It's That's just it. You need to keep the fonts simple. You need to avoid pictures. I see a lot of persons um, attach their pictures to their CV. I mean, there is no place in the software that pictures are required. So it's almost useless putting your picture on a CV, except the employer or the person who wants you for the job, like the hiring manager, is requesting for your picture, but it's totally useless. I mean, especially if you are applying for a job in a place that is highly racist, you may want to consider people concentrating more on your skills and qualities than they should concentrate on your picture. All right, you'd want that to be achieved. So avoid pictures. Keep your font simple, and it's always recommended that you have your Times New Roman or your Arial. Other funky fonts, they don't really make sense. Okay, and then you have to be clear about your formatting. Use a standard formatting, and I'm just going to share my screen. Let's look at some of the things some of you submitted. So we have this person. Okay, I've blocked Daniel's contact details and emails, but this is a no. You don't use a table to present your CV. This is not going to be respected. It's going to be thrown out. It is going to fall into one of the 75% CVs that are not attended to. Your personal information is not important, Daniel. Okay, in and using bold all through. One thing you must know is in your educational qualification, it has to stand out. I'm going to show you other CVs that actually made sense. It has to stand out because this is something that is going to be typed into the ATS uh, software, and they would expect that you also make your education qualifications to stand out. So you have to put the the school from the first, from the latest to the first. And there is no need to put your first school leaving certificate. I think I've talked about this in a previous lesson. There's no need to put your first school leaving certificate when you have a BSc in statistics. And from what I'm seeing here, you have human resource management certificate or something. That should come first. And then your diploma in desktop publishing should be the thing that I should consider to come last. And this whole West African certificate, junior secondary school, and first school leaving certificate, it's totally uncalled for. And then building the structure, you have to put the name of the school, the certificate, and the year in that format. I'm going to share a couple of CVs here that made sense too. Work experience, like I said, referees, this is totally on unacceptable. The name of the person, years, the name of the person, the role the person or designation the person is playing, the phone number and the email, and then the organization. All right, you check a previous video for that. And hobbies, adventure, listening to music, reading. All right, okay. So, but it is not always necessary. It is not compulsory that you insert your referees in every CV that you uh, that you want. Okay. So this is the first one, and I'm going to share another CV template that um, made sense or that needs us to look at. So that one was from Daniel. So we have the second one from Odoma Patience. The objective, career objective, you mean a holder of Bachelor of Science in Sociology. All right. Now, you don't begin your objective with telling us about your education. There is already a place in your education in your CV. Start out by telling us your expertise, or especially get yourself tailored to the CV, tailored, pardon, to the job description. So if you are applying for a job as a sociologist somewhere, you would want to use keywords like an analytical sociologist, okay, or an analytical leader. Just use key descriptive words. Seeking to build a career in the corporate world. No, this should be towards the end of your objective. I spent a lot of time talking about this, and I suggest you listen to previous video lessons and get to learn more about it. And then education institutions attended. Better still, why not use educational qualifications? Nobody is interested in the institutions you attended. They want to know the qualifications you got from those institutions. Okay. And then other certificates obtained. Okay. In some places, it will be professional certificates. But like I always suggest to a lot of people, when you are putting out your CV this way, after your career objective, if you are not putting down key skills, just go straight first to your work experience. Let people see your experience before they go ahead to begin to look at your educational qualifications or your certifications. And like I said, the first school living certificate here, it's totally useless for a CV like this. Your highest qualification there is a master's, and you should write the law enforcement in capital letter. Master's in law enforcement and criminal justice. Okay, it should be in capital letter to emphasize and to send a clear message. So like I said, not in previous CV template that was used, do not use columns, use bullets instead. And I'm pretty sure this is what this person did, because with bullets you are able to tell the software that these are the things you want the software to concentrate on and not throw out your CV. And again, you have to learn how to customize your CV. You have to learn how to customize your CV to meet the job description of that company. If a company is saying that they need someone who is working, or they need someone who is quite good with the use of Excel. If you are putting out your job, your responsibilities, you make sure that one way or the other, the word Excel appears in most of the responsibilities, especially in those places you use the Excel sheet. It makes totally no sense that you would leave your key skill that is being hunted for by such companies towards the end. Try to incorporate that skill into your responsibility. And that's why it's important for you to actually read job descriptions before sending out your CVs. If you're applying to 10 jobs, definitely you need to edit that CV 10 bloody times. It's that easy. It's that easy. And for me, I say it's easy, but I want to use the word simple. You don't expect to take a job descriptive CV that belongs to one company to apply for another company. If that company is using the ATS of software, they are going to throw it out. That's why it's important for you to extract your keywords. Very, very important. If a company says they want people who are proficient in Microsoft Word, if you go to your responsibilities in places you've worked previously, make sure that you insert Microsoft Word and say that you were able to do this, do this, do this, do that, but through the use of Microsoft Word. Don't just wait until when you get to your skills section, then you put Microsoft Word as if it was not a major thing that was being requested for, and then you leave it that way. Do the if those keywords Microsoft Word appears more than 3 times, then you can be sure that the your applications will be ranked. But of course, is you have to be really, really intentional and deliberate about how you move towards letting people know that you are skilled. Don't just go all the way. Yeah, you were working in social place, Microsoft Word. So you have to be also truthful about this. So I'm going to also share the screen and look at one last CV that was submitted, and I think I love this one. Personal statement with over 10 years of clinical public health. This is brilliant. I am keen. All right, this is where she spoiled the show. You don't begin with a third person or a second person and then just suddenly end up with a uh, first person. So I am keen to utilize my strategic planning leadership. No, just write something like keen to utilize. You get the point. With demonstrable impact and results in your organization or institution. So it was brilliant education, qualifications, and training, Cardiff University, University School of Medicine, all right, Master of Public Health, that is it, Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery, West African School Certificate. Like I said, totally uncalled for. Cut this out. Just your master's, bachelor's of medicine and surgery. That's just it. Professional experience. Um, okay. I would have preferred your experience come first, like I said before the education. Now, I forgot to mention something. When you are writing your application and sending it, avoid using, I don't know, it's not really popular here, but avoid using all these. It's already bold. Leave it at bold. You can want to use a column. Yeah, colon. That is dot dot. Yeah, that's a colon. And remove the underline. It's kind of crazy that the software looks at some of these things. Just keep it out. Keep it out. And I'm so happy that this person did not just put MPH and feel that um and feel that everyone should know the meaning of MPH. If you have an MBA, don't just write MBA. Please spell it. Masters in Business Administration. If you have a PhD, you could write it in full. Uh, PhD. I think that's a Latin word. Philosophical doctor, doctor of philosophy in so field. Okay, so this was is a very brilliant way of overcoming the applicant tracking system. And if she kind of uses this to apply for jobs, I'm pretty sure she would be considered. It's always advisable to have a CV that is barely, this is 7 pages, almost like almost like mine. But if you tailor your CV to meet certain responsibilities, then you know that definitely you can cut it off to 3 or 4 sometimes. But some would say the standard page for CV is 1 or 2 pages. I'm like, okay, which one works? Okay, which one works really? And the use of bullet here was amazing. Was really amazing. So she has a lot of experiences that are worth mentioning, and she's not apologetic about it. Brilliant, brilliant. All these big words here. Can you write them in full? Country coordinating mechanism. Perfect. NACA. Or should we assume that there is just why you need to spell out these things is just in case this is exactly what they want to see in your application. You have to make it clear enough by spelling it out clearly. Okay, so this is okay. No need for this underline. Just use a colon like I said. Research publications. All right, so I love this one, and I recommend this sample CV to a lot of us. Okay, so if you have a question, this is the time to ask, and I'll just leave it like that. The applicant tracking system is something that have been put there for by companies to help them sieve out applicants who are most qualified for the job, and most importantly, it is put there to save time. I can't imagine the excruciating moves that people would be taking to actually read painstakingly all the applications. I mean, it's a lot of work. I've been there before where I read tons and tons of applications, but with the use of this software, you are in fact able to. If you want to know how the software in fact works, if you have ever posted a job on LinkedIn, you can see that's a simple version of what the applicant tracking system is like. So you can see something like rejected, fit, unfit, good, and so on and so forth. So you can to go. And yeah, I just remember this: when you are applying through LinkedIn, please send in your PDF CV and not the MS Word CV, because come on, your PDF CV can be looked upon just instantly and they will know, okay, you are a good fit or not. But if you are not lucky to have people who patient to download first and then open, then you are going to miss such brilliant opportunities. So, like I said, this applicant tracking system uses optical character recognition. It's about looking at what they want. You have to show them that you have it and you want them to be aware of it. Keep your font simple. I prefer Times New Roman or Arial. Avoid pictures at all costs. You can see it's totally useless or irrelevant for you to put most of your references on the CV, except if it's been requested for. Use clear formatting, standard formatting, in fact. Don't use columns, don't use rows, don't use tables, just use bullets most of the time. Customize your resume to meet that function. Extract keywords. Look at the job description. Read, and you can list down those keywords. I tell you, and begin to use the keywords as you put them, or write a lot about your responsibilities, and then eliminate underlines. If you are bolding, please don't bold and underline at the same time. So if you have questions, this is the time. I'll just keep quiet for a few seconds, and if there are no questions, I would attend to them in the comment section or in the group. Okay, so thank you so much for coming around to listen to me talk about this very, very, very special software. A lot of people are not actually happy that, they are saying, "Why, why are we doing this software thing? Why are we giving power to the robots to give us jobs?" But then this thing exists to make our life easy, and you can overcome it. You can overcome it. Okay, any questions? All right, bye.